Welcome to BritBuzz. Today, we're exploring one of history's most fascinating civilizations, the Roman Empire. From its humble beginnings to its spectacular downfall, we'll examine the key events, figures, and factors that shaped the rise and fall of Rome. The rise of Rome from a small settlement along the Tiber River to one of the most powerful empires in history is a rich and multifaceted story spanning centuries. Here is a detailed outline of the history of Rome, emphasizing key phases and significant events that defined the Roman Empire. 1. Founding and early period, c. 753 a 509 BCE. Mythical origins. According to legend, Rome was founded in 753 BCE by Romulus, who, along with his twin brother Remus, was raised by a she-wolf. This legendary tale emphasizes Rome's divine favor and resilience. Monarchical rule. The city was initially ruled by a series of kings, including notable ones like Numa Pompilius, who was credited with creating many religious and legal institutions, and Tarquin the Proud, whose tyrannical rule led to the establishment of the Roman Republic. 2. Roman Republic. 509 a 27 BCE. Transition to a republic. In 509 BCE, Rome transitioned from a monarchy to a republic, marked by the establishment of the Senate, a governing body representing the Roman elite. Social structure. The society was divided between patricians, aristocrats, and plebeians, commoners. Political offices like consuls were created, balancing power and preventing dictatorship. Expansion and conflict. The Republic expanded its territory through various wars. Conquest of Italy. Rome gradually subjugated neighboring Latin tribes, the Etruscans, and other groups on the Italian peninsula. Punic Wars. 264 a 146 BCE. A series of three major wars against Carthage, highlighted by Hannibal's daring march across the Alps and Rome's eventual victory, which allowed it to dominate the Western Mediterranean. Macedonian and Greek wars. These extended Roman influence into the Eastern Mediterranean. Internal struggles. The Republic faced internal strife, including the conflict of the orders, where plebeians sought political equality. Reformers like the Gracchi brothers pushed for land redistribution, but their efforts led to political violence. 3. Late Republic and the rise of Julius Caesar. 133 a 27 BCE. Rise of powerful generals. Figures like Gaius Marius and Sulla rose as military leaders, showing that command of legions could grant unprecedented political power. Sulla's dictatorship marked a crucial point in the Republic's decline. Julius Caesar's ascendancy. Caesar's campaigns, especially in Gaul, modern-day France, cemented his reputation. The famous crossing of the Rubicon in 49 BCE marked the start of civil war against Pompey, a member of the First Triumvirate. Assassination and aftermath. Caesar declared himself dictator for life but was assassinated in 44 BCE by a group of senators, including Brutus and Cassius, seeking to restore the Republic. 4. Formation of the Roman Empire. 27 BCE a 476, Augustus and the Pax Romana. Julius Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, later known as Augustus, emerged victorious from the subsequent civil wars, defeating Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. In 27 BCE, he was granted the title Augustus and became the first Roman emperor, initiating the Pax Romana, Roman peace, a 200-year period of relative stability and prosperity. Administration and reforms. Augustus established a centralized bureaucracy, reformed taxation, developed infrastructure, and expanded the empire's boundaries to include Egypt, northern Spain, and parts of Central Europe. 5. High Empire and cultural flourishing. 1st a 2nd centuries. 5 good emperors. The reigns of Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and Marcus Aurelius are considered a golden age. Notable achievements include Trajan's expansion. The empire reached its territorial peak under Trajan, who expanded into Dacia, modern Romania, and the Middle East. Hadrian's Wall, constructed in northern Britain to protect against invasions from tribes. Roman culture, flourishing arts, architecture, the Colosseum, Pantheon, and literature by authors like Virgil and Seneca. 6. Decline and crisis, 3rd–5th centuries. Crisis of the 3rd century, Rome faced severe challenges due to economic decline, military pressure from Germanic tribes, and internal strife, including the frequent change of emperors, known as the Barracks emperors. Diocletian's reforms, Diocletian, 284–305, attempted to stabilize the empire by dividing it into a tetrarchy, with co-emperors ruling different parts. He also implemented economic and military reforms. Constantine and Christianity, Constantine the Great, reigned 306–337, reunited the empire, established Constantinople as the new capital, and, most importantly, legalized Christianity with the Edict of Milan in 313, later adopting it as the state religion. 7. Fall of the Western Roman Empire, 395–476, division of the empire. Upon the death of Theodosius I in 395, the empire was permanently split into the Eastern Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, and the Western Roman Empire. Invasions and collapse. The Western Empire struggled against relentless invasions by various tribes. Visigoths led by Alaric sacked Rome in 410s. Vandals sacked Rome in 455s. In 476, Odoacer, a Germanic chieftain, deposed Romulus Augustulus, the last Roman emperor of the West. Eastern continuation. The Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive for nearly a millennium, preserving Roman heritage until its fall in 1453 to the Ottoman Turks. Key legacies of the Roman Empire: law and governance. Roman legal principles form the foundation of many modern legal systems. Infrastructure. Innovations such as roads, aqueducts, and amphitheaters still inspire engineering marvels today. Language. Latin evolved into the Romance languages, for example, Spanish, French, Italian, and greatly influenced the English language. Christianity. Rome's adoption and spread of Christianity shaped religious and cultural trajectories for centuries. Rome's history encapsulates the journey from a city-state to an empire marked by unparalleled military conquests, political evolution, and lasting cultural influence. For further reading, comprehensive sources and detailed accounts can help illuminate individual epochs more deeply. The Roman Empire represents one of history's most significant and influential civilizations, spanning from 27 BC, when Augustus became the first emperor, to the collapse of the Western Empire in AD 476. This period is marked by expansion, administrative innovations, grand architecture, and pivotal social and religious changes. Here is a comprehensive overview of the Roman Empire's detailed history. 1. Origins and founding, 27 BC, end of the Republic. After years of political instability and civil wars during the late Republic, Julius Caesar's assassination in 44 BC paved the way for new power struggles. His adopted heir, Octavian, defeated his rivals, including Mark Antony and Cleopatra, at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. Rise of Augustus. In 27 BC, Octavian was granted the title Augustus by the Senate, signaling the beginning of the Roman Empire. Augustus established a system that balanced outwardly maintaining republican institutions while holding supreme power. 2. The Pax Romana, 27 BC AD 180, Augustan reforms. Augustus introduced extensive reforms that stabilized the empire's political, military, and economic systems. He reinforced the power of the emperor while keeping the Senate's formal status. Stability and expansion. This era, known as the Pax Romana, Roman peace, was characterized by stability and prosperity. It facilitated economic growth, trade across the Mediterranean, and expansion into regions such as Hispania, Spain, Gaul, France, and Britannia, Britain. Cultural flourishing. Literature and arts thrived, with works like Virgil's Aeneid and Ovid's Metamorphoses. Monumental architecture, such as the construction of aqueducts and the Pantheon, showcased Roman engineering prowess. 3. Dynastic eras. Julio-Claudian dynasty, 27 BC AD 68, following Augustus, emperors like Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero ruled. This period witnessed relative stability but also political intrigue and excesses, particularly under Nero. The Flavian dynasty, AD 69–96, after the chaos of the Year of the Four Emperors, AD 69, Vespasian emerged as emperor, starting the Flavian dynasty. His rule and that of his sons, Titus and Domitian, included significant projects like the Colosseum and economic recovery efforts. The Five Good Emperors, AD 96–180, Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and Marcus Aurelius are known for their effective governance, relative peace, and expansion. Under Trajan, the empire reached its greatest territorial extent, stretching from Britain to Mesopotamia. Hadrian is noted for consolidating and fortifying borders, exemplified by Hadrian's Wall in Britain. 4. 3rd century crisis, AD 235–284, instability and division. The empire faced severe challenges, including economic troubles, military defeats, and rampant political instability with numerous short-lived emperors. The empire's unity was tested by invasions from Germanic tribes, Persian advances, and internal rebellion. Economic decline, inflation, heavy taxation, and a reliance on slave labor worsened the economic strain, leading to social disruption and weakened military recruitment. 5. Reforms and recovery, AD 284–337, Diocletian's reforms. Emperor Diocletian, AD 284–305, introduced sweeping changes to restore stability. He divided the empire into the Eastern and Western Roman empires, each governed by an Augustus and a subordinate Caesar under the tetrarchy system to prevent concentration of power. Administrative changes, reorganization of provinces, tax reforms, and economic measures were aimed at strengthening the empire's infrastructure and defense. Persecution of Christians. Diocletian is also known for his vigorous persecution of Christians, which temporarily subdued the growing influence of the new religion. 6. Constantine the Great and the Christian Empire, AD 306–337, rise of Constantine. After internal conflicts and battles such as the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, AD 312, Constantine emerged as the sole emperor and initiated significant changes, including the Edict of Milan in AD 313, which legalized Christianity. Foundation of Constantinople. He established a new capital, Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, in the Eastern Roman Empire, enhancing its strategic importance and trade routes. Shift towards Christianity. Constantine's support led to the gradual transformation of the Roman Empire from a pagan state to a predominantly Christian empire. 7. Division and decline. AD 337–476, Theodosius I, AD 379–395, Theodosius I made Christianity the state religion and was the last emperor to rule over both the eastern and western halves of the empire. Permanent division. Following his death, the empire was split into the Western Roman Empire, based in Rome, and the Eastern Roman Empire, based in Constantinople. Fall of the Western Empire. The Western Roman Empire faced continuous pressure from barbarian tribes like the Visigoths, Vandals, and Huns. The sack of Rome by Alaric in 410 and later by the Vandals in 455 significantly weakened its stature. In 476, Romulus Augustulus, the last Roman emperor of the West, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. 8. Legacy in the Eastern Roman Empire. The Byzantine continuation. The Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to flourish for nearly a millennium after the fall of the Western Empire. It preserved Roman law, culture, and Christian traditions until the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Turks in 1453. Influence on modern world. Roman law, architecture, engineering, and language. Latin, profoundly influenced European development and are foundational to Western civilization. The decline and fall of the Western Roman Empire is one of the most studied events in history due to its profound impact on European civilization. The gradual disintegration of Roman power was a complex process that unfolded over several centuries and was influenced by a mix of political, military, Economic and social factors. Here's an in-depth look at the primary reasons and key events leading to the fall of the Western Roman Empire. 1. Political instability and corruption. Weak leadership. After the reign of the 5 good emperors, the empire struggled with a series of weak and often ineffective leaders. Many emperors came to power through violence or political intrigue, leading to a lack of stable governance. Between AD 235 and 284, known as the crisis of the 3rd century, the empire saw approximately 26 emperors in just 50 years, most of whom were assassinated. Division of the empire. Diocletian's decision to divide the empire into eastern and western halves, ruled by different emperors under the tetrarchy system, initially stabilized governance but ultimately weakened centralized control. The permanent division following the death of Emperor Theodosius I in AD 395 entrenched this fragmentation. 2. Economic decline. Heavy taxation and inflation. The empire's vast military and bureaucratic expenses required heavy taxation, which burdened the populace and drained economic vitality. Inflation became a severe problem, especially during the 3rd century when emperors devalued coinage to finance military campaigns. Dependence on slave labor. Rome's economy heavily relied on slaves for agricultural and industrial production. As military conquest slowed, the supply of new slaves diminished, causing economic stagnation, trade disruption. Continuous invasions by Germanic tribes and internal turmoil disrupted trade routes, leading to shortages and increased prices for goods. 3. Military problems. Reliance on mercenaries. Rome increasingly relied on hiring foreign mercenaries, who were often less loyal than Roman troops and sometimes turned against their employers. Invasions by barbarian tribes. The empire faced sustained attacks from various groups. Visigoths. In AD 378, the Visigoths defeated Roman army at the Battle of Adrianople, a significant blow to Roman military strength. In AD 410, under King Alaric, they famously sacked Rome. Huns. The Huns, led by Attila, invaded Roman territories in the 5th century, pushing other barbarian tribes, such as the Goths and Vandals, into Roman lands. Vandals. The Vandals sacked Rome in AD 455, further weakening the empire's power and morale. Defensive overextension. The empire's vast borders, from Britain to the Middle East, were difficult to defend. Military resources were stretched thin, making it hard to respond effectively to simultaneous threats. 4. Social and cultural decay. Loss of civic pride. Over time, the sense of duty and allegiance to Rome eroded. With the empire becoming more militarized and authoritarian, many citizens felt detached from the state. Population decline. Plagues, such as the Antonine Plague, AD 165 A 180, and the Plague of Cyprian, AD 249 A 262, decimated the population, leading to labor shortages and reduced economic productivity. Shift in values. The rise of Christianity changed cultural norms and societal values. While Christianity unified large parts of the population under a new religion, it also altered the traditional Roman belief systems that had supported Roman civic life and military valor. 5. The sack of Roman. Key milestone. Sack of Rome by the Visigoths, AD 410. This marked the first time in 800 years that the city of Rome had fallen to a foreign enemy. It sent shockwaves through the empire and is often cited as a major psychological blow to Roman confidence. The Vandal sack, AD 455. This event further exemplified Rome's vulnerability. The Vandals looted the city for 2 weeks, stripping it of wealth and further damaging its prestige. Battle of Chillons, AD 451. The Roman general Flavius Aetius, known as the last of the Romans, allied with various Germanic tribes to halt Attila the Hun's advance in Gaul. Though successful, it showcased Rome's reliance on barbarian allies to maintain its power. 6. The final collapse, AD 476, deposition of Romulus Augustulus, the last Roman emperor of the Western Empire. Romulus Augustulus was deposed in AD 476 by Odoacer, a Germanic chieftain who declared himself ruler of Italy. This event is traditionally marked as the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Odoacer's rule. Odoacer did not claim the title of emperor but ruled as king of Italy, acknowledging the Eastern Roman Emperor in Constantinople as his nominal superior. This signaled the end of Roman rule in the West and the beginning of the medieval period in Europe. 7. Legacy and survival of the Eastern Empire. The Byzantine Empire, while the Western Roman Empire disintegrated, the Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive for nearly another 1,000 years. Under emperors like Justinian I, who sought to reconquer lost Western territories, the Byzantines preserved Roman law, culture, and administrative practices. They eventually fell in 1453 to the Ottoman Turks, marking the end of the Roman imperial lineage. Concluding reflections. The decline and fall of the Western Roman Empire were not the result of a single event but a combination of internal weaknesses and external pressures that accumulated over time. The empire's vast size, complex bureaucracy, and reliance on a fragile economic system made it increasingly difficult to manage. While the Western Empire fell, its cultural and administrative legacy persisted through the Byzantine Empire and deeply influenced the development of Europe during the Middle Ages and beyond. The fall of the Western Roman Empire was a protracted and multifaceted process that unfolded over several centuries, culminating in AD 476 when Romulus Augustulus, the last Roman emperor of the West, was deposed. This event symbolized the end of ancient Rome and the transition into the early medieval period. Below is an in-depth exploration of the causes, key events, and aftermath of the Western Empire's fall. 1. Underlying causes of decline. Political instability. The Western Empire suffered from a chronic lack of strong leadership after the death of Marcus Aurelius in AD 180. Political power was often seized by force, resulting in a rapid turnover of emperors and weakening governance. Division of the empire. Emperor Diocletian, AD 284 305, split the empire into eastern and western halves to improve administrative efficiency. While initially effective, this division contributed to a weakening of centralized control and created competition between the two halves. Corruption and inefficiency. Government corruption and the self-interest of officials eroded effective administration. Local leaders often prioritized their interests over those of the state, weakening internal cohesion. 2. Economic strains. Heavy taxation. The empire's military campaigns and administrative expenses led to burdensome taxation that strained the economy. This placed significant pressure on small farmers, who were pushed into debt and poverty. Inflation and currency devaluation. To fund military operations, the empire often debased its currency, leading to rampant inflation. This reduced the value of money, leading to economic instability and a decrease in trade. Dependence on slave labor. The economy was heavily reliant on slaves for agricultural and industrial work. As conquest slowed, the supply of slaves dwindled, causing a significant labor shortage that hampered economic productivity. 3. Military weakness and external pressures. Overstretched military. The Roman military was spread thin, defending an extensive border that stretched from the British Isles to North Africa and the Near East. This overstretch left many areas vulnerable to attack. Barbarian incursions. The Western Empire faced relentless pressure from various Germanic tribes and other groups. Visigoths, led by King Alaric I. The Visigoths famously sacked Rome in AD 410. This event shocked the Roman world and illustrated the empire's inability to protect its own capital. Vandals. The Vandals, under King Genseric, crossed into Roman North Africa and seized key provinces. In AD 455, they sacked Rome, causing further damage to its prestige and resources. Huns. The Huns, led by Attila, invaded Roman territories in the mid-5th century. While their defeat at the Battle of Chalons, AD 451, by a coalition including Roman forces under Flavius Aetius temporarily halted their advance, the empire's resources were stretched to the limit. Reliance on mercenaries. Due to dwindling native recruitment, Rome increasingly relied on mercenaries, many of whom were of non-Roman origin. These mercenaries were often less loyal and sometimes turned against Rome when not paid or when better opportunities arose. 4. Key events leading to the fall. Battle of Adrianople, AD 378, The catastrophic defeat of Roman forces by the Visigoths at Adrianople revealed the empire's vulnerability and marked the beginning of significant barbarian incursions. Sack of Rome, AD 410, Alaric's Visigoths entered and plundered Rome, symbolizing the empire's waning power. Though Rome recovered somewhat, the psychological impact of this event was profound. Loss of North Africa, AD 439. The Vandals established a kingdom in North Africa, taking Carthage, a key source of wealth and grain for Rome. The loss further destabilized the empire's economy and food supply. Sack of Rome by the Vandals, AD 455. This second major sack underscored Rome's impotence in the face of barbarian aggression. The rise of Odoacer, AD 476. The final blow came when Odoacer, a Germanic chieftain, deposed Romulus Augustulus. Odoacer did not claim the imperial title but ruled Italy as its king, marking the end of Roman rule in the West. 5. The role of the Eastern Empire. Eastern Roman Empire's strength. The Eastern Empire, with its wealthier and more strategically advantageous capital of Constantinople, was better able to resist invasions and maintain stability. Its focus on preserving key trade routes and maintaining a robust defense network allowed it to continue long after the West had fallen. Lack of support for the West. Although Eastern emperors like Theodosius and later Justinian attempted to support or reconquer parts of the Western Empire, their efforts were often limited by internal challenges and external threats from Persian and other forces. 6. Social and cultural changes. Population decline. Disease outbreaks, such as the plague of Cyprian and other pandemics, significantly reduced the population, contributing to a labor shortage and weakening the empire's economic base. Shift in values. The traditional Roman values of civic duty and military service eroded over time, replaced by increasing reliance on personal and regional loyalties. Rise of Christianity. While Christianity initially unified segments of the population, it also shifted focus from civic identity to spiritual salvation, weakening the central Roman identity that had once been a unifying force. 7. Immediate aftermath of the fall. Fragmentation of power. After the fall, Western Europe splintered into smaller, Germanic kingdoms, each ruled by local chieftains or kings. These kingdoms laid the groundwork for modern European states. Loss of centralized administration. With the fall of Roman authority, Europe entered the early Middle Ages, also known as the Dark Ages, characterized by a decline in trade, urban life, and learning. Cultural legacy. Despite the fall, the Roman Catholic Church maintained and spread Roman ideas, including aspects of Roman law and Latin language, throughout medieval Europe. The Church played a crucial role in preserving knowledge and fostering a semblance of continuity with the Roman past. 8. The Eastern legacy and Byzantium. The Byzantine Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive. It preserved Roman governance structures, legal codes, such as Justinian's Corpus Juris Civilis, and cultural achievements. The Byzantines held off various invasions and maintained the empire until the fall of Constantinople in 1453 to the Ottoman Turks. Influence on Europe. The Byzantines helped shape medieval European politics, religion, and culture. They were instrumental in transmitting classical knowledge back to the West during the Renaissance through scholars and the rediscovery of Greek and Roman texts. Conclusion. The fall of the Western Roman Empire was not a sudden event but the culmination of centuries of internal decay and external pressures. It was marked by political fragmentation, economic difficulties, military setbacks, and social change. The symbolic hand in AD 476 signaled the transition from antiquity to the medieval world, reshaping Europe's political, cultural, and social landscape for centuries to come. The legacy of the Roman Empire, particularly following the fall of the Western Empire in AD 476, is profound and multifaceted. Its influence can be seen in the development of government systems, legal traditions, architecture, language, and culture in Europe and around the world. Here is an in-depth look at the different aspects of Rome's enduring legacy. 1. Government and political thought. Republicanism and governance. The structure of the Roman Republic, with its Senate, consuls, and checks and balances, lay the groundwork for modern democratic systems. The idea of a republic influenced the political development of many nations, including the United States and France. Concept of citizenship. Roman citizenship was an evolving institution that granted rights and responsibilities, influencing modern notions of citizenship, civil rights, and the rule of law. Administrative innovations. Rome's sophisticated bureaucracy and provincial governance served as models for future empires and nation-states, demonstrating the importance of local governance integrated into a central authority. 2. Roman law. Codification of laws. One of the most enduring legacies is Roman law, particularly the Corpus Juris Civilis, body of civil law, compiled under Emperor Justinian I in the Byzantine Empire. This comprehensive legal code formed the basis of many European legal systems and influenced modern civil law traditions. Principles of justice. Concepts such as innocent until proven guilty, the right to face one's accuser, and equality before the law were rooted in Roman legal practices and have been integrated into modern judicial systems. Contract law and property rights. Roman legal ideas regarding contracts, wills, and property rights helped shape the development of Western legal frameworks and economic transactions. 3. Architecture and engineering. Innovative construction techniques. Roman architectural and engineering marvels, such as the use of concrete, arches, and vaults, revolutionized building techniques. Structures like the Colosseum, aqueducts, and roads showcase the empire's engineering prowess and continue to inspire modern infrastructure. Urban planning. The layout of Roman cities, with their organized street grids, forums, and public spaces, influenced the design of modern cities. The principles of efficient space utilization and public building projects set a precedent for future urban development. Monuments and buildings. Iconic Roman structures, including the Pantheon with its massive dome and Roman Forum, have left an indelible mark on architecture and inspired Renaissance and neoclassical design. 4. Language and literature. Latin. The language of the Romans, evolved into the Romance language as Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Romanian. It also had a significant impact on English, contributing many words in legal, scientific, and religious terms. Literary influence. Roman literature, including the epic poetry of the Virgil's Aeneid, the philosophical writings of Cicero, and the historical accounts of Livy and Tacitus, laid the foundation for Western literature and historical thought. Preservation through the Church. The Roman Catholic Church, which emerged as a major institution after the fall of Rome, preserved and disseminated Latin, maintaining its status as the language of scholarship and religion for centuries. 5. Religion and the rise of Christianity. Adoption of Christianity. Rome's adoption of Christianity under Emperor Constantine I and the subsequent promotion of it as the state religion by Theodosius I were pivotal in Christianity's growth. The spread of Christian beliefs and the Church's structure were influenced by Roman organizational models. The Roman Catholic Church. After the fall of the Western Empire, the Church emerged as a stabilizing force, preserving Roman cultural and intellectual heritage. It played a key role in unifying medieval Europe and spreading Roman ideals. Ecumenical councils. The framework of church councils, such as the Council of Nicaea in AD 325, was modeled on Roman administrative and legislative practices. 6. Cultural and artistic legacy. Art and sculpture. Roman art and portraiture emphasized realism and detailed depictions, influencing Renaissance artists like Michelangelo and Raphael. Roman mosaics, frescoes, and sculptures preserved elements of Hellenistic and earlier classical traditions. Cultural synthesis. Rome's incorporation of diverse cultural elements from conquered regions such as Greek, Etruscan, and Egyptian created a rich, multicultural society. This blending laid the groundwork for the spread of Greco-Roman culture across Europe and the Mediterranean. Festivals and public entertainment. The Roman tradition of public spectacles, such as gladiatorial games, theatrical performances, and